Gentlemen, good. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is I, the captain of Team Warren, the all-star, as a matter of fact, of Team Warren. That's right, Coach Dub here of Del Sol High School, here to welcome you to our first season 13 award breakdown video. We are so excited. This is our 13th season of High School Jesters, and every year we get so excited about our year-end rewards. And right now we're talking about the All-Stars. That's right. Let's bring in King Kopy himself so he can help us break down how the All-Stars are so significant to Jester's history, Kopy. We're about to pick a single student from every single school in our league to represent them in the All-Star Show on Championship Saturday, which is, of course, April 23rd, taking place at Del Sol High School. Super honored that we're just hosting anything. The fact that it's the championship makes me feel great. We've said that every time we mention it, though. So we'll move forward into what really matters, you All-Stars. So every school has been busting their butts all year. And even as they've steadily improved each team, there's going to be in those inter-school competitions, perhaps one person who kind of rings true in every performance that your opposing team's coaches have taken notice of, and they've been voting for you throughout the season. Oh, week 1, it was totally Bobby. And week 2, it was totally Sarah. And week 3, it was totally Michelob. I don't know why Michelob's a name, but anyway, at the end of the year now, we've tallied all the votes, and whichever individual performer at your school got the most votes from opposing teams' coaches, folks who barely interact with you, obviously, but still respect your performing, well, you're the all-star. Kopy, I've not let you said a single thing about this. Am I hitting all the notes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sick.
It's kind of neat to be chosen as an all-star. Because I mean, heck, maybe you're a freshman walking into a team of veterans and somehow you got this nod. Maybe you are the old KG veteran and you're finally getting your first shot at it.
Right.
There's so many different stories kind of to tell
Mhm.
in this, and it just makes it that much more fun. So 28 of you are going to be in one show together. And if your brain's going, oh, how? There's a format. I got it.
He's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Don't worry about that. But some of these stories are kind of neat, and I'd like to kind of share with you some of them, and then also tell you kind of how hard this is, how hard it is to be in this category. So Warren's right. You were getting votes all year long. Over 100 students got votes for
Wow.
All-Stars.
Nice. Congrats to a huge diversification of those votes.
That's a whole other video if we had to go through every student. So the 28 that got selected, they will be the representative All-Stars. And here's some numbers to talk about even more of that stuff. So All-Stars has been happening since the first year of Jesters. 248 All-Star selections out of, let's just say, maybe 10,000 students.
Wow.
So 248 All-Stars have been selected, and of those 248, 192 of them were different students.
That's an incredible statistic. So only I could do math. Only I can't do math. We can do 56. Only 56 of you guys were repetitious, right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
192 unique students over the years. That's amazing.
Yeah, 192 unique out of roughly 10,000. There are only 29 of the 56 you're talking about that were doubles. So yeah, so you have to break the rest of that down and do more from there. Or no, that 29, yes, that 29 is for the doubles. Wow. So we only have one student that did it all 5 years of their high school experience.
That's right.
Because they did it as an 8th grader.
Yep.
Only one student's ever accomplished that, and then only one other student's accomplished it 4 times. That of course is our stage manager, Corey Shelby.
Yep. So
yeah, really, really hard company to be in. In this particular group of 28, we have 2 students who are getting their 3rd nod.
Wow.
And we have 8 students, we have 7 students who are getting their 2nd nod. So That is 19 students who are getting their first all-star nod.
Super cool.
Yeah.
How exciting. And kids, it is a really cool feeling because, maybe you weren't necessarily truly the best, quote unquote, but maybe you were the heart in many ways. You were kind of the soul and the foundation of the team. And it shows in the comfort level of your play, and it shows in the choices you make on stage. For me as a coach, when I'm looking for all stars, I'm looking for the kids. First of all, I'll admit, guys, I totally vote for maybe the second choice sometimes, because the first choice can sometimes be so glaringly obvious, like, wow, look at that kid go. Okay, let's give somebody else a cookie just for fun. I'm one of those coaches who's just like, let's share the sugar. And I look for maybe the person who's making the decisions that connect everything. Maybe who's adding the who and the what's and the where's really efficiently, or is finding a creative way to spin them into the scenes. I like the ones who give me that steak and potatoes of the improv, but everybody's a little different. Some people just want to make sure you make them laugh. Some people want to make sure that you're contributing to the teammates across from you or the partners around you. Maybe you're just the one who looks the most comfortable. Everybody's got a different way of looking at this. So truly coming out on top is hard. And congrats to these kids in advance. Kopy, I got to know who our all-stars are. Are there any more statistics you want to throw at me first?
I think we'll go the ones that got the doubles and the triples. We'll talk about them as we go through the graphic.
Fun.
So let's just go down the line and give some praise where it is due.
I hear button clicking, which means Kopy is giving us a full screen view, and you kids are hopefully taking it in at the same time as we are now, as all of our all-stars faces have flared across the screen. And already I'm seeing several familiar faces for me that I can't wait to talk about. How do you even want to approach this? Alphabetical order?
Well, it's alphabetical order by conference or by division.
Fun.
So let's just read it like a book, left to right, top to bottom.
Sounds good, which means
we start with Evan.
yeah, Evan Hardy. So, in case you guys have been missing it, we've been totally jaw dropping over Evan Hardy and his unflappable and fully realized improvisational play throughout the year. He's had appearances in 4 shows now after the first playoff, right? And the first playoff week, that is. And he's been doing this at Basic all 4 years, and he's been definitely the fountain of knowledge for the other kids to drink from at Basic this year, truly making the team his own, but paying tribute to some of the energies of his past teammates like Lily and Jacob. And, Evan's one of those kids who's just super cool, funny, fun, talented, so good in so many different facets of life that it's what would you expect almost that Evan's up here. Thoughts on Evan Hardy of Basic?
Evan, yeah, I don't know what he can't do. That watching him the past couple of weeks, just so easily navigate through everything he does. I was watching him in the first round playoff matchup when he was pulling people into freeze with him. Like they hadn't been in the rotation in the second, and he knew it. His instincts were on top of all those things. So
yeah,
there's things that he's doing that are now just natural instinct to him that maybe his brain's not catching, and it's what makes everything better. So Evan's capable of all those things. Evan is one of our 7 who this is his second all-star. He got it 2 years ago as a sophomore.
Wow, congrats.
So now he gets another little asterisk next to his name in our history book. So yeah, Evan, you deserve another nod. Thank you, sir.
1,000,000%. Basic has a lot to say thank you to for you as far as your improvisational, just your improvisational know-how and your example set. You're so smart. You're so capable of so many different things that we see it as adults going, oh man, like, boy, you better not let anybody tell you can't do anything, kid, because you shouldn't. Thank you, Evan, indeed. Okay, reading it like a book. Del Sol's here, and believe it or not, that is Isabella D'Angelo getting her first all-star nod as a member of my team. This is her third opportunity to get a nod in general. And I gotta say, when I run through my roster and I think of who pound for pound I'm putting at the forefront of my improv when it matters, which means yes, if I have it my way, Bella plays this upcoming weekend with Cheyenne. Bella is that student. Bella can take a moment and, very much like Evan, round it out and have it make sense, but yet it very rarely loses its comedic sizzle. She's still super funny, but she performs in such a theatrically solid way that you'd think this kid's rehearsing their brilliance. And that is just that's what an all-star is all about, regardless of the sport we're talking about. So thank you, Bella. I've said it in many different contexts, and you're probably getting sick of hearing it, but I literally met you and thought, I can't teach you a thing. So anything you've told me over the years that you said I actually pass along to you, I say thank you, because you've done a lot of passing along to our Del Sol teammates, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you for everything you've done for Del Sol and for the Jesters League as a whole. Kopy, your thoughts on Bella?
Well, it's neat for me to see Bella in here because All Stars is probably the thing I have the least amount of say so in.
No kidding.
So I am so far removed from choices in this. Like my hands are almost completely clean of any of it. So on Bella's side, I remember the first time I saw Bella and had that just initial thought of, man, there's something there. There's something that this girl can do. And it just kind of just kept ringing true. And Bella's one of the ones that I had one of those conversations with and just says, I think you can be really good at this.
And I'm so glad you did.
and Bella actually kind of fed into that, and we've had plenty of opportunity to talk and work and get there. And she's so good at this.
Yeah.
This is in her blood. So and I think performing's in her blood, and this is definitely a part of it. So whatever she does in life, either it's one thing's going to benefit the other. So whether she continues in this world or goes into a whole different world, this is going to benefit her there, or vice versa. So yeah, I'm happy she's getting this nod.
She's one of those kids who just naturally excels to the point where it's a little easy for her. So kudos to that. I just hope you find something that challenges, motivates, and inspires you to be the best you can be and want to work for it, Bella, because just how much I've watched you work towards improv, knowing that if you put that effort into whatever your chosen direction is, I just know you're going to be an all-star in whatever you do in life. So good for you, kid. Push it, push yourself. Cool, bud. East Tech is up next, and a lot of different faces come to mind to me. Explain why we're seeing this face for this East school.
This is Hunter Rannick, and Hunter, I think this is his third year now, but first all-star selection.
About time. Had to wait for some of the others to pass on, I guess.
Well, and I think they've had plenty of people do a lot of good stuff this year, so it's kind of neat to emerge as the all-star this year with how strong your group is. And you know, I think it's never more evident than this last show, this first round of the playoffs. Hunter was so smooth, and his telenovela character, just he's one of those performers that has that dry way of walking into things. Just that dry, hey, I'm gonna stand here and deliver my perspective. And
like Sean, I'll say, from A-Tech.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. So kind of neat. Hunter had a real bang up show in this last one. It may be evidence why you got the all-star selection this year.
Nice.
So
came down to the wire at that school.
Yep, and it did. They were definitely, the votes had to be counted to make sure. And yeah, Hunter, congrats.
Those tight races are fun. Yeah, you know, Hunter, I'm not going to pretend like I know you like I know the first two students we talked about. I do know that you've been in the league several years, and I've watched several of your improv experiences. What I love about East Tech as a whole is there's never really, I will say this honestly, there's very rarely any one who rises above the whole with East Tech's improvisational style. So if you blend, that's a blessing. But I do know you from your from your cool hand Luke perspective, that Sean comparison. And I do think that getting your first nod is a long time coming after 3 years. You got to be proud of yourself. Be grateful to your teammates for giving you the opportunity to shine brighter. It certainly is a team effort in improv. So you can go up there and be A1 steak sauce, but still not get an all-star vote because maybe you just washed out the steak as a whole. So many metaphors. Point is, Hunter, is you don't overwash anyone. You give, you add, you compliment, and kudos. A leaderly type of quality of you. And it's nice to see you get the nod at all-star so you can have that clap on your back.
I think what Warren's saying, Hunter, is you should eat steak.
I'm so hungry, Kopy. In case you can't tell, I didn't get to eat before we sat down tonight.
Oh,
but Hunter, congrats, my friend. Sincerely. Good luck in week 2 of the playoffs, where you face maybe an Evan at basic. This could be so much fun.
Right.
Las Vegas High School became maybe Team Poise this year.
Yeah, I would have been so happy, honestly, with anyone from Las Vegas who would have got the vote. But I get why Joan got it. This is Joan Sanchez, Joan's first All-Star nod, of course. Joan, I think from the first show, you showed how clever you were. And I think that's why you were the All-Star right here. To where I think everyone kind of took their moments as the year went on. Owen really picked up some steam at the end. Krista, I think, is kind of right there in the middle of the season. Krista started showing us that funny. And then Bianca was kind of an explosion from the top. So I'm happy that you get this, because from show on, from the first joke that you told, you showed how good your brain was for this. So you deserved it. Joan, welcome. Heck, I was talking about in the playoff recap about the judge talking about your team and the potential that's there, and you're huge evidence of that. So Joan, congrats.
Yeah, cool stuff, Joan. One of the coolest things we enjoy about watching younger teams come up is noticing the chapters of the performers, the chapters of who rose when, who leveled out when, who really came on strong when. And to have you up here representing your school means that your chapter was the most consistent throughout. And that's a great thing to feel when you're a school finding themselves as a unit. So being the foundation of that unit is an honor, knowing that you're kind of there and trusted to support those around you and make sure they don't fail or at least fail ugly, is really commendable. And congrats to you for representing this young squad, because now we're all kind of looking to you a tad going, hey, how do we grow from here? And we as coaches are excited to watch how your program grows. And you got a great mind at the helm there. We hope Haley Garcia comes back to help you grow even more in years future. So cool stories all around at Las Vegas High School, especially for Joan. Now, this is a face I'm pleased to get to see, because I believe this might be, hey, Kopy's got the clap for Ava at SECTA. When I met Ava was like one of those cool students who quietly sits there and learns improv, which is ironic and not a sentence you should say. You'd think if you're here to learn comedy and make believe, you're slinging your ideas, whether you with reckless abandon, whether people want to hear them or not. But Ava was just there learning, and I could watch her and understand how everything was truly sinking in. And performance by performance over the last couple of years, Ava's proven that she's digested a ton of what she's learned from so many different influences, to the point where it's a very cerebrally awesome selection for Ava to be the all-star for SECTA. I'm stoked. Kopy's clapping. Kopy, why are you clapping?
It's kind of, it has a lot of the same feelings I mentioned when I talked about Bella, just kind of a long time coming. And
yeah,
you know, I'm sure if SECTA walks away from recaps and, you know, if someone on the team didn't see it and they go, what did Kopy talk about in recap this week? Oh, he talked about Ava. Like, I'm sure that's kind of the way it could be talked about. So this is a long time coming. You deserve this, and I'm happy you get this shot. So Ava's first, obviously. Yeah, you know how to do this, and the feelings you just emote when you are up there doing it is exactly why you deserve to get this opportunity. So Ava, please enjoy this. It's all yours.
You're tough, you're strong, you're definitely intelligent. You learn, and as a student in the past who's excelled at certain things and had other students roll their eyes and go, look at Warren wanting to answer the question in math class again. It can be tough when you can feel everybody else around you wondering why you're the chosen one. But at the end of the day, it's the attitude you put towards it. And your attitude has always been humble and hungry and most importantly, coachable. Like you actually learn, and you learn well, and you've learned swiftly. So we're very all excited for you. This is just well deserved, and I hope you feel great over it. Um, Feeling great over improv is what we feel when we look at this next student, because this is another 4-year student in our league. Now, with no one else in front of them to say mine, finally gets a slab at the all-star cake. Please tell me this is their first selection for Nathan at Silverado.
Actually, he's one of our seconds.
Okay. Thank you for
So
correcting me.
this is,
Congratulations, Nathan, on round 2.
yeah, and well deserved. If we were talking in the preseason, the excitement I had, at least in my soul, of watching you and Parker have another go at it together, was pretty high. So to see just how strong your year has been, it makes sense why you got the all-star selection again. So you've been completely turning heads the past several weeks. So the challenges that I find you in these shows, and how you're so easily having fun with it. Not too often students can bring their parent on stage and kill it.
That show is so good, top to bottom.
Right.
But just the poise and the comfort you showed when you pulled out your keys and jostled them around arrogantly, saying you were Enrique, your other coach at Silverado. Oh my God. So funny and cool, calm, collected, smooth. There's nothing that feels like it can shake you, Nathan, when you're performing. And yet I know from conversations with you that you're not this overbearingly cocky, arrogant person. You're just good at portraying it. And that's great for stage comedy. You have such smoothness, such great instincts. And when you commit, we watch you laugh about what you're about to commit to, and you okay, all right, and then you do it, and it draws us in, and it makes us predict where you're going, and you very rarely go right down the middle, and that's so much fun. You're such a clever kid. Keep up the great work. Practice comedy as you graduate. Man, go for it. Why not? You face some of the scariest things you can face, which is non-reactions. And you've grown so much through them, and you've grown around this awesome culture at Silverado of good joke telling. So go for it, man. I mean, I really mean that. I think you're funny, and I think people like you, and you should go give it a shot. Congrats to Nathan, man. That's cool. Valley's up next, and Valley is, of course, going to pay tribute to its 4-year Mighty Mouse, Isabella. Uh, who is the better Bella? I always wanted to know. Del Sol and Valley had a chance to go for it, but Roman picked a screaming match. I really don't know, because Isabella over at Valley is unselfish and very humble and super fun and approachable in their improv. Every character somebody else can play with, you know what I mean? Never stealing spotlight, just making the stage brighter as a whole is Isabella, and her persona, her personality, what she naturally brings. You got to be happy to see Isabella get this nod.
Yeah, I have a very similar feeling about Izzy as I do one other person on this list, and that's just simply that, especially in this league, sometimes it's all about the timing, and having the patience for that timing, and this is your time. This is right. This is you getting this vote and being in this position is absolutely correct, and you deserve it and you've earned it. And sometimes it just took a little longer maybe than we wanted it to, but here we are. So you've had some great teammates over the years. You've done some awesome work. You've definitely brought some joy to a lot of people's lives over your 4 years. So in your senior year, I want you to enjoy the show. I'm happy that it's back in person so that you can do it the right way. So yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of pride in my heart seeing you on this list, Izzy.
I agree. With one, sadly with Valley dipping out in week 1 of the playoffs, this is your last chance to have a show, Isabella, and it couldn't have happened to a better Bella. So go have some fun and love it and live it up. And no, you'll always have a home in Jesters if you want to come back and interact with us. We've all been really grateful to have you. A-Tech is up next. A-Tech has grown into the juggernaut out east. We can say 2 years running, and this school is stacked with talented improvisers. And Jessica here gave me flashbacks to prior MVP candidates of her team. And I won't disrespect her own all-star nod here by running through those names. Jessica, you're electric. You listen so intently and you react so fast that nobody around you doesn't have something to work with. Like if people just paid attention to you, we would all have something to play off of. And that's a blessing. You naturally make people better by being around and reacting to what you react to as consistently as you do. I only needed one show watching you play with Fake Bonanza a few weeks ago and to know that you've had a killer year and you deserve to be all-star, and we're super proud of you. And you're probably the root of so many good things that have happened for A-Tech this year, especially. And congrats. This is awesome.
Yeah, so we got another 4-year player here who's getting their first all-star
Oh,
nod.
yeah. That's a good story. That's
Um,
just a good book. Mm-mm-mm.
and I think the writing's been on the wall for you. I don't think there's ever been a conversation I've had about you where it wasn't about knowing what you were capable of. And that is a true fact. Coach Song, back me up on that. I think we've always known what you can do, and this year is your year, and you've earned it.
I'm
So,
Coach Song. She's great. Thanks, Kopy.
so yeah, it just you a part of your championship run last year,
Yep.
what you've been doing this year, helping newer players grow and get better around you. Yeah, this was your year. Please enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for sure.
Jessica, you're great. Like, so great. Like, as a coach, having you on my team has meant so much. And I just so much. So, yeah, go for it. Have fun. Anyway, Desert Pines is coming up next. Desert Pines is a school with a ton of amazing personalities, but if it's one that's kind of the focal point, there's no doubt that Sarah Miller gets to be pictured here for good reason. This is the heart, the blood, the soul of a Desert Pines improv team that's getting ready to say goodbye at long last. I mean, what, their third senior year or whatever, to like the first person I think of when I think of Desert Pines improv. And there have been some cool names who've come through that camp and some truly talented performers. And you are talented, Sarah Miller. You are, I don't use this word lightly, but I will use it. I think you have one of the best souls, one of the most beautiful souls of any student we've had in the league. One of my favorite just people, because your brain overflows with creativity and you're at the same time so kind, and you're grateful for every positive thought that can be thrown your way, and you have given so many positive thoughts to so many audiences and so many team members simply by vindicating what they've done with their decisions on stage, at least when it comes to players. But for audience members, you want to have a good experience too, so you know what we're looking for, and you just give it, and you give it so selflessly and kindly, and you find new ways to do it year after year. You added so many wrinkles to your game this year. I haven't had to watch every single show to know that. And I think it's awesome to know that you're always tackling new challenges within yourself. I see you trying different games and adopting different ideas and really trying to consciously work different improvisational strategies into every single week's approach. And who doesn't love a student like that who's willing and raring to go and try? And man, I value you the heck out of people like you, Sarah. So I'm so happy for you that you're the all-star. So well deserved. This is probably number 2 for you too.
She is one of our 2. Yep.
Yeah,
So this is her second All-Star.
I've said enough. Sarah Miller from Kopy's mouth now.
It's a true sign of what someone offers, their setting that they're in, when you can watch the rise of people around them. and
Ah,
and hasn't Desert Pines just always turned heads? And it just Josh winning most improved a couple of years ago, that, I mean, who was right there with Josh? It was Sarah. So Sarah's kind of just always had this ability to feed in to other people, and you're absolutely right. What a soul.
Jalen Bowie?
uh yeah, Jalen.
My bad. You said Josh, so I couldn't help it.
Oh, I was thinking, excuse me. Yes, I was thinking the wrong thing. So Jalen, oh my gosh, Jalen, don't hurt me. So
Sorry to totally step on the very beautiful emotional sentiment, though. I am truly sorry. Start that
I,
beautiful sentence over.
I think I was looking at the graphic and I looked at Josh's face, and then it just so
Did
yes,
he do that?
you're absolutely right. Sarah's soul just resonates, and it's always positive, and it's always happy, and it's always a delight to be around.
Yep.
So you getting the All-Star makes me very happy, and I know that that's all you do, is you make the people around you happy. So
Yeah.
let's do that in the All-Star show, and let's have some fun.
God, yeah. And please, if you got nothing that you've got urgently planned in your life, come and hang with us and keep doing improv and being in the Jesters family, because we need all of the Sarah Millers in the world. And I'm bummed that there is truly only one, but I'm very grateful. So, cool kids, man. Cool kids. Goosebumps for Sarah Millers. El Dorado is up next, a new face to our league. This is their first time getting to have an all-star appear in person, so it's super exciting to see a new face, school-wise and student-wise, make this board. Tell us about El Dorado's all-star, Kopy.
This is Zach Graham.
Yes, I wish I have known what you look like, Zach, after all these discussions. Welcome.
Zach Graham is a freshman.
Yep.
Not a lot of freshmen make it into the All-Star category.
True statement.
Yep. And Zach is a younger sibling, had 2 older siblings that ran through the league with East Tech. So,
yep.
And here we now have an opportunity with Zach, and it makes sense. It's kind of cool that he's sitting next to Sarah in this graphic, because he kind of gives that same vibe. So in the last recap, I was talking to you about the sweet evil twin.
Yes.
He was the sweet evil twin, because that's
Right.
just kind of his way. Like, I would imagine if you see Zach sitting at the lunch table, you go and sit next to him, because he just seems pleasant. And he's funny to boot. So I'm happy that you got into this category and you have a chance to experience this, because you definitely deserve it, sir.
I've heard so much about you, Mr. Graham. Thank you for understanding what we're doing, and bringing a humility to it that has elevated your program in its early years, as well as the schools you've played with, in conjunction to this pseudo competition. So if you get it and you're bringing that same kind of vibe of a Sarah Miller, who I do know so well, then we're excited you're a freshman, because what you're going to naturally do with the way you carry yourself is you're going to make everybody around you more comfortable, which is going to bring out better parts of their improv, which you'll then in turn make feel better, because you're good at justifying and building each other up. And then they're going to get even better. And so you might see El Dorado kids, if you are paying it all attention, might see El Dorado get some most improved improviser nominees in the next coming years, with a Zach at the forefront, in the core, because that's what those kinds of students do. They uplift. So excited to know, as a freshman, you have grasped this. So exciting to know you have 3 more years, should you choose to do Jesters those 3 years, to make your program better. And just fair warning, I believe if you do continue, you will make the program better. So one foot in front of the other, Zach, and thank you for being here. And Legacy is up next. Legacy is more than just a far drive away. They're a culture. And, they've been playing a lot of new faces this year, sure, a couple of stalwarts, but this is one of the new faces, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
who takes the cake as the all-star. To introduce me to this individual and why I should know who they are.
This is Daniel Tucker. Daniel, of course, first All-Star nod in his first year.
Congrats,
I
welcome.
think it's easy to say that he's definitely been one of the most committed for the Legacy group, next to Genevieve for sure.
Okay.
And from a performance standpoint, I think he just kept improving all year. So that's kind of a nice asterisk to add into this particular group, is that Dan just kept growing. So to see someone who's on that growth pattern get an all-star nod, I think that's a neat story to add to his legacy.
Ah,
Yeah, it hit my brain and I had to go.
yay. I'm happy for you.
But yeah, and just extremely likable. You've definitely clicked and made friends with a lot of different people here in the league, and so you've kind of been engrossed in it, which is awesome. So yeah, Dan, congrats.
New beginnings, Dan. That's what this means. And, as Legacy turns the chapter over into a new year, know that you've got legs under you now, and you've got an understanding of what you're doing, and you've got other people recognizing that, grown adults who have done this for X, Y, Z amount of years, who can see the value in the way you approach your improv. Make that a focal point, buddy. Take some confidence away from it, and come into your next improvisational year with the knowledge that if they follow you, they'll get somewhere fruitful, and that's great to have. It's great to have a strong, consistently improving mind in a team that's going to need to learn from somebody like that. So take the lessons you've learned, see if you can articulate a few of them. Good luck. But if not, lead by example, and we know you got this. So congrats. We'll see you on All-Star at All-Star show. Oh man. Once upon a time, this little green bean over here was like 4 foot nothing, improvising up a storm as a freshman, shocking the world and winning Las Vegas Academy a championship. And now the Wonder Kid is Elliot, man. That's all you can say. Elliot, man, you are a gift because you're here with us. I mean, truly, anytime we get kids who commit 4 years of their effort to our camp, we truly value you in a way we can't even explain. But boy, we value you, Elliot, because have you not provided 4 distinctly different LVA cultures to our understanding? Like last year's team was different. The year before that was different. Your freshman year was different. And this year it's been a chemistry derived from your can-do, camprov attitude. Like there's nothing you won't touch. There's nothing you can't navigate around. There's nothing your smile won't make more fun to bounce around creative minds. Like there's always a safe place to laugh when we watch LVA perform, when you're in the lineup. And I think your teammates feel that. I think the audience feels that. You're a comfort zone on stage, and that's so cool. And it's so fun to know you've gotten there. You came out of nowhere your freshman year, and you're not, I mean, you're everywhere this year. So, man, I think this is your second. Cool. This is your second selection, Elliot. So you know how good you are, but you don't in any way let it go to your head. And that's why the team loves you, gravitates around you, gets better around you. And there's chemistry at LVA. It's the Elliot show. What do you think, Cope?
Yeah, you've had such an interesting history in these 4 years. So I can talk about that for a long time. So let me just focus in on what you've done this year. And that's just take another team again and allow them all to be like you and
show them the way.
Yeah. And in all honesty, I feel like anyone on your team probably could have earned an all-star vote and been sitting where you're sitting. But I think it just shows how good you are at this. So, where Warren was telling Nathan to go out and continue in the comedy world, it would make a lot of sense if you did too. So if that's something you want, I mean, you participated in our video contest last year. You've done so much in this league. So I hope this has paid you as much as you paid it. So.
Yeah, man. I think you got a lot of votes up there because we remember you and because your charisma is natural, unforced. And again, it's comforting. It's a comforting kind of just, we know Elliot's here. We're in for a good show. So it's easy to vote for you. And congrats, man. Like, what can we say? That's a compliment as anything else is. Oh, man, obvious choice here as Rancho comes to the forefront. But we've talked about a hero in Harley all year. And to me, an improvisational hero Harley truly is, because boy, it can be a struggle for so many to have an open mind and an open heart and be flexible and truly be capable of improvising with anybody. And this year, where that's usually a focal point for awards races like MVP, there's no doubt that one of the most adaptable, flexible, and unselfish people in this league is absolutely Harley over at Rancho. So if you get no other honor this year than just to be up there on All-Star Weekend, know that you're truly an all-star to this league. Truly an A1 personality, truly somebody who's taken so many lessons and really put them together this year into valuable improv in every show you've been in. And you especially, and maybe the only people in this conversation who truly understand how hard you've had to work for that, are you, me, and Kopy. And we want to tell you that you are a star, truly a star. So thank you, Harley, for everything you've done. A four-year student,
yes,
finally seeing their way off into the real world. And boy, howdy, if we don't hope it comes right back to us in some way, helping other kids to be half as adaptable as you will make our league universally better. Thank you, Harley, is all I can say. Put a hashtag and a t-shirt on that. Team Harley. Lifetime.
So sometimes things like awards and all stars and even just who wins and a playoff and moves on, sometimes it's even hard for me to digest, because I do have everyone deserves a participation trophy type of heart. But again, it's kind of like I always say, is the process is how we really grow. And Harley is one that I know has always wanted more and always wanted to be in a position like this, and wanted to get as much out of this as they possibly could have. And I've heard the Harley and Althea version of how I met them so many times. They tell that story a lot, and for me to hear it that many times just shows how much this is in their hearts, and how much they love doing this. And so yeah, this is a real good feel good for me. I talked about Isabella from Valley earlier and how just the payoff and the timing is sometimes everything. So, and maybe it took a while for you to be in this spot, but you're here, and smile, enjoy it. Hard work pays off. And thank you. Thank you for all these years.
Super cool story for Harley. Hopefully you feel that way too. Hopefully no part of you has your head held low after the end of your run in Jesters as far as championship contendership, but because truly I think we all celebrate you, and we're sure grateful for every opportunity we've had to get to know you, Harley. We know you're up to great things in your life, and if you handle those things with a fraction of the commitment, dedication, and passion that you've handled your Jesters run, you're the first president of the United States in the female bracket. Go for it. And I mean that. So very cool stuff. So Sunrise Mountain, it's funny. I know I said I wasn't going to say previous names as we did this. I've already kind of broken the rule a little bit, but I look at this image and I go, is that Luis Garcia mixed with Ronnie from Sunrise Mountain of the past? Like, who is this amalgamation of Sunrise Mountain's past taking the All-Star this year for them?
Well, so this is our second Zachary in our All-Star show.
Sick. I've heard a
yeah,
lot about you too.
yeah.
You're callous. You say abrasive things.
So this is Zachary Compton. This is Ronnie Han's little brother.
Oh, I thought I saw, at least in the hairline, some resemblance. Dope.
Yeah. So this was a tight one at Sunrise. Miriam and Zach definitely got a lot of love, of course,
Yay.
deservingly so. And Zach really has just this fearless nature. When I talk about Zach this year, I was always talking about, him taking a chance doing this, taking a chance doing that. And one time he even kind of twisted his ankle in a scene because he was willing to try something. And that I think your fearlessness is why you're here, and why you got this opportunity, and now you get to showcase it. Now you get to stand on stage with all these people in a like category and show why you deserve this position. So maybe it's in the blood because Ronnie was pretty dynamite himself.
Yeah.
But congratulations, sir.
Zachary, say hi to Ronnie for us first. Second, we've talked about, if there's one word we almost equate to negativity when we talk in recaps, you may have caught it, kids, it's the word shyness. Shyness is maybe the one like negative thing we ever even accidentally paint while we're talking out here. And I say that now and point that out now because the enemy of improv is shyness. and Zachary, you don't have that in your blood. You go out there and go, hey, I'm aware I'm afraid of this, but I'm not going to listen. I'm aware that this is something that makes other people nervous, but I'm just going to do it. And that's a treat. Like, that's a treat to ingest as a young improviser. The younger ones under you who watch you will not see a first year player. They won't see inexperience. They're going to see somebody who's fearless, who they can go, wow, look at that kid. That may not have hit, but boy, he said it. And I'm super glad he did because he tried so hard. And I love that. And whole audiences are feeling that watching you come up in this league. So thank you for being the enemy to the shyness that gets into the hearts of so many young students, and keeps them from being truly themselves in our improv camps. You get it. You exude it. You go for it. And we applaud you universally for it. And yeah, it may be in your blood, but you also were probably advised by your older brother that there's a safe place to your comedy here. We're not here to tear you down. The worst reaction you're going to get is no reaction. And you probably learned what that felt like now. So go out there, push the envelope, keep being fearless, and encourage your teammates to be fearless too. Now that you know what it's like to fight those barriers, encourage them to as well. It's going to make you an MVP. So go for it, buddy. And with that in mind, I've left Kopy speechless, of course, with my fantastic rhetoric. I'll move us into Arbor View. And Arbor View could have gone in a lot of different directions, but there were two we were circling. Last year's MVP candidate, Audrey, of course, came to mind. But it's exciting to know an all-star vote went to Allison this year with Arbor View. Tell me, Kopy, though, isn't this a repeat from last year?
Well, Allison is our reigning rookie of the year.
Yeah, that's the big nod.
Yeah, Allison won rookie of the year last year.
Yep.
But All-Star went to Audrey last year.
Okay.
So yeah, these it's hard to talk about one and not talk about the other, but I know how important it is to talk about the one. And Allison, yes, this is yours this year. You kind of blow my mind in every category, and I mean that from a comedic standpoint, from what you're capable of on stage to even your general understanding and zest. Like there's a zest for life that you have,
Yeah.
that I wish that I could be on your level all the time. And it's funny because I can hear you talking back to me right now as you watch this,
Funny.
commenting and throwing things at me that just I know how you're reacting. And just for a moment, I just need you to accept and digest some praise, because you deserve this. You deserve whatever it is that this league can give you. And I wish it could give you more. It makes me so sad you're a senior. So congratulations. You deserve an all-star.
In a world where so many of these students are still learning who they are, Allison comes across to me as an icon who just, no one is Allison. And you have this amazingly, I like the word acidic, because acidic means there's texture and there's reality and there's a little bit of spice, and there's in other words, you're not rainbows, butterflies, kittens. You're so much reality in your improv, and you're never too afraid to flip the switch and go and shine the spotlight on some really cool thinking, just some cool perspective. Um, and I like that about a lot of what you do, Allison. You jump out at jump out from the page at us. You're larger than life. You have so many things you can do, and there really doesn't seem to be anything you can't. And underneath it all, there's somebody who wants to excel, wants to belong, and wants to uplift, and wants to learn, and is ready to prove themselves almost always. You've got that natural chip on your shoulder, and you've proved it, and you've proved it again, and you proved it yesterday, and you proved it last year, and you proved it 10 years ago, and you're going to prove it 10 years from now. There's something about you that will just naturally go for it. And we're glad you exist for that reason. We're glad you came through our league for that reason, because we know, in the same vein as our friend from Sunrise Mountain, Zachary, we know the fearlessness is just natural for you. So don't prove us wrong by shying away from any opportunity you ever encounter in your life. We're excited to see you excel.
To add a little sugar on top of that, just because I've had an opportunity to get to know Allison at least a little better, there's definitely a ton of fear in there. And it just somehow that converts into power, just
right.
pure raw power. So yeah, definitely. I'm curious to hear anything that she may have said throughout our entire banter on her, because I'm sure she was talking to us the whole time.
Yeah, and I hope you'll continue to talk to us, because you clearly have a knack for this. You like what we do, and we hope we've done enough to think that you could give to those younger generations who we'd love to see you uplift further. Anyway, thank you, Allison, and happy graduation. Good luck. Keep in touch. Centennial, Team Adorable. I mean, we're not changing the nickname. Looking at that face, are we, Kopy?
Jesus. This is Joe Detri. Joe Detri's first All-Star nod, but fourth year in the league.
Nice. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yep. We got a handful of those in this year. And yeah, Joe goes back to Brent's days when Brent was at Centennial, Coach Brent. And there's definitely this general pleasantness about Joe and Joe's sister, honestly, Gemma. And I think there's even just their family comes to watch the shows. There's just Joe is so excited to do anything we ask him to do. And we used to talk about like when Joe was a freshman, about Joe's dancing and to do rap, and he would continuously do the Running Man. It just didn't matter, to where some students hate that game with a giant part of their soul. Joe just was always happy to do it, and would just keep doing it. So yes, Centennial was eliminated from the playoffs yesterday, because we were recording this a day after. But Joe gets another shot here at an all-star show. So well deserved, sir. Well deserved.
Yeah, one final hurrah. If it's one school I have had very little exposure to over the last 4 years, it's probably Centennial. So I'm not going to, again, pontificate too much to convince you that I know who you are on a first name basis. But that school has been a culture of approachability, kindness, warmth, passion, fun, so many good words for what we do. And if, as a 4-year player, if you're not at the heart of that culture, then we don't know what math is. So thank you for being a humongous part of Team Adorable culture. Thank you for fighting your way through all of your own performance barriers to this point where you finally get what's got to feel like a humongous victory for you. Getting to represent your school as an all-star, getting to sign off on the culture that you've helped build, and getting to uplift others on stage and the audiences that watch you even more. One final time. I mean, you can't ask for a better outcome from your perspective, I would think, now that the championship is off the table. So go and play, have fun, be you, do the running man for us one more time, and know that you've been a humongous part of our league, whether I know who you are or not. And that is truly awesome. So keep it up, Joe. Cheyenne grimaces its way up to the plate next, and I only say the word grimace because it's with tongue in cheek. I haven't seen a ton of Cheyenne this year. I definitely know who Susan is. Susan is not this person, right?
Yes, that's Susan.
Oh, good. Maybe I was just like the wrong angle. I was a little worried for a second. I was either going to be super correct or super embarrassed. I'm glad that I'm a little bit of both, as usual. Susan, you are fun because you're totally never what we predict. Zero, none, absolutely zilch. We know you're going to yes and, but it's not going to come in the package we expect. And if there isn't a role for that on every team in Jesters, well, there should be, because that's where perpetual fun comes from. You're just a perpetual fun machine. Thank you for your unique way of approaching every situation you can on stage. Thank you for not being afraid to push envelopes, because comedy is going to have a strand of that if it's still comedy. With all due respect for those of you who are like, I'm all about political correctness, never saying anything that's, accidentally offensive. Susan's like, I got 20 of those in my back pocket. Which one do you want me to try today? And there's cleverness, there's real world intelligence, there's a specific type of smarts that's very hard to coach in that. And you're cool. You're just a cool kid. And congrats on getting an all-star nod for Cheyenne. Kopy, your take on Susan.
Susan has had some really good teammates over her years. Freshman year for Susan, had Wild Child Sam,
Right.
and definitely the wildest version of Sam,
Right.
Sam Unholtz. And last year, man, that Cheyenne team was so fun online. Sam, again, of course, was in that group, but adding DJ and Kimura. And then this year again, Kelly, who is so insanely good, and then Powerful Grace and all these newbies that are in there with Cheyenne this year. So this is Susan's second All-Star
Right.
nod.
Yep.
It's nice. It's nice to see that someone who is so just mentally on a different wavelength than anyone gets another nod like this. So clearly who you are as a person, it reaps benefits in this league, and it's hard for anyone not to enjoy what you do on stage. A really funny, weird thing I haven't shared with anyone is a couple weeks ago, Beth, who is our resident camera person, came up to me in the middle of the day and said, "Hey, I just can't get the student to smile backstage." And Beth didn't say Susan. Beth just said, "I can't get the student to smile."
But you knew.
And I responded and I said, "Yeah, Susan won't smile."
Right. Yeah.
and then Beth showed me the picture. I was like, "Yeah, that's Susan." So that's the closest picture to a smile I was able to get, was for that graphic right there.
That's fantastic and totally not shocking. I knew, like I said, Susan does things different, and you ask them to smile, the answer is obviously to not. And that is how Susan works.
Yep.
They are a human misdirection. And boy, Del Sol's stoked to play with your energy, Susan. Like, that's going to be fun for us. It's an honor just to share the stage with you. I'm super glad you're coming to the East for this one. We'll have such a good time. So you'll have such a good time being your all-star on All-Star Day. And congratulations one more time. Here's a student. Cimarron got Althea. Northwest CTA. Here we go. Northwest is, no, I'm just kidding. Here's a student at Cimarron who jumps off the page at me in this collection of students because they feel very much like a focal point of our league for me. We've joked about the 8-year senior quality. We've talked about how this is a student of the game, one of the finest that we have in our league, simply from the passion standpoint, the commitment standpoint, the fact that improv feels like a way of life for this person and a way to cope with their world, and they make it brighter for everybody by being whom they are. And they're always going out of their way to build additional layers for everybody, even if it's straight up telling them how to do things. That's still just well intended. That's still with the best heart in mind. We just want to put on a good show. We just want to be funny. We just want to be good at this. We just want to excel. We just want to be good students of the game. And you evoke that, you inspire that, you carry yourself with such a maturity that we thought you graduated 4 years ago. We're grateful because Althea is in this league. And one of the only students I've ever, played a scene with where I felt comfortable being kind of a jerk as a character, because I knew they weren't going to take it seriously, and be totally able to keep up and help me, have fun with it. Because I don't really like being the jerk ever, guys. I really, it's outside of a comfort zone for me. So I do remember the scene we shared in just a recap or just a preview last year for Pandemic Prov, where Althea was just totally a pro, and you're such a pro, and you deserve to be a pro. And I hope one day you get paid for improv. It'll probably be before I ever have. And I'm super grateful you're here for all of these students to have just known you exist, Althea. So such a star, wonderful person. You're just on the same level as a Harley or a Sarah Miller for me, or, as far as just somebody who truly is what this league is. You're awesome. So awesome. Beyond awesome. Go Kopy.
Yeah, well, if this says anything, I told you that only 2 students on this list are getting their third All-Star nod. Well, Althea's, this is Althea's third.
Yeah.
And the
I
year
believe
that
it.
Althea didn't get it was the championship Cimarron year, where they just were stacked.
Right.
Just stacked as a squad.
Scary.
Now, stats aside, everything you said is pretty dead on. Althea's always had a very unique approach to how to get on stage and tackle ideas and thoughts that always lead to quality laughs and chuckles and whatnot. And I know in Althea's heart and soul that this resonates pretty high. So I'm happy that you get to be one of the very few now that get a third All-Star nod, and that your name gets to live in amongst that group of students. So that's a very highly considered strong group of students. So your Sam Eltons of the worlds all live in that group. So
cool.
You deserve just to be there. Everything you've given us, man, I think I said it one other time in this video, I hope we've given any of that back to you. So keep rocking. Obviously, you still have some playoff bracket to go, and this All-Star show. So thank you, Althea.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, definitely one of those kids that make a run at some Rushmores, if you ask me. Super cool kid. You've done an amazing job, and just keep your head high. Know you've got friends. Know this league has recognized you and will celebrate you and will support you. So tackle the real world with the same gusto you tackle improv, and you'll be a student of life, and you'll succeed just the same. So good for you, kid. Speaking of third-year All-Stars, if the second third-year All-Star isn't Isaiah of Northwest, I'll be shocked.
It is definitely Isaiah.
Yeah. Welcome back, Isaiah, to the All-Star fold. Definitely the creative and charismatic lifeblood of Northwest. Not to say you're alone up there, never have been. As a matter of fact, your electricity spreads to your teammates effortlessly. You are a conductor of improvisational technique. You you're also one of those grown men type of seniors who just seems like you're 21, you're just faking it. You've got the maturity, you've got the physical presence, you've got the amazing voice, you've got the way of projecting whom you are across the stage and out of the auditorium's front doors. You've got so much power and weight to what you do, but you spoil us by keeping it fun and electric and light and funny and man, you're just cool like the other side of the pillow, which is the tiredest cliche I'll ever use. Um, and we're just glad we've gotten to watch you these what now this is fourth year, this is it, right? So these 4 years have been made better because you're here. That Northwest team is a perennial contender, and you're a huge part of that, status. You've made teammates around you better. You've elevated kids like Erica, but you've also helped the young ones come along faster, so much faster by finding your example to follow. You know what you can do. You put it out there, but you're not a selfish person, at least not to my perception. You are not a selfish performer. That's especially obvious. You uplift, man, by being that raw force, that raw, amazing, charismatic force. If anybody is most likely to be Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, in their yearbook superlatives, that's got to be Isaiah. Go for it, Cope. You got
Yeah.
lots to say about this guy.
Well, I think, I think he would refute you just a little and just say that Erica is the one who lifted him up because that's kind of
Ooh,
his style and that's kind of who he is. And,
that's
I
such a
would even,
nice way to take it.
yeah, and I think even though this being his third All-Star selection, I think it's not an unfair thing to say that maybe he's still underrated and that we just haven't really had him on the radar because of all the strong people that have been around him over
Jeez,
these years. If you want to put this into perspective, his freshman year, Northwest made it to the championship and he wasn't the one on stage.
that's
So
right.
he didn't perform in that.
Wild.
It was Erica who was in that.
She
And
got the freshman nod.
so it he's accomplished something by getting this 3-year nod, but I think very quietly. I think
Mhm.
maybe some of us weren't really paying attention. So I will say that I think
Sorry.
this year, I will say that this year has definitely been your best year.
Mm.
Man, what a rock star year you've had. So yes, you deserve your all-star nod, but man, you're going out in style, sir. So yeah, enjoy this show. You obviously have some playoffs in front of you. So get as much out of this as you can, sir. Thank you.
I can't say much more about Isaiah. I haven't interacted with him a ton on a personal level, but every time I've interacted with him on an improvisational level, it's been a treat.
Right.
Another upstanding young man who's going to have a great future and a heck of a video editor. Definitely
Right.
won the pandemic pageant with their awesome editing skills, made my jaw hit the floor,
Right.
and I have a very big mouth. Good for you. Super cool kid. Keep it up. Goodness knows you're going to take over the world with whatever you choose to do. Shadow Ridge is a new face in our league, and they've got a new face as an all-star. Ergo, introduce us and advise us why this is Shadow Ridge's face stepping out of the shadows, so to speak.
This is Kaylee Omori, and I
Yes.
hope I said that right, Kaylee, your last name. First year All Star, of course. Kaylee has had a very interesting year on a very interesting team of kind of Shadow Ridge has got a lot of misfits just with very different personalities. and very different ways of digesting scenes and putting their humor out there. And I've kind of watched Kaylee kind of be this nucleus and this grounded attack when it comes to their team. And we got to see Kaylee got a nod to be in the 1000th show. Kaylee got in their first round playoff show. And and now you being the all-star, it all makes sense. You have such a good grounded attack and grounded way of doing your improv, that even when you come up with your one-liners and your second brain type of thinking, it makes it that much better because of your approach. So
nice.
It's pretty cool. I'm happy you got this nod on your team of misfits. It makes a ton of sense, and congratulations. Enjoy this show. I know you have no idea what's coming, but this is such a fun experience, Kaylee. I'm excited you get to experience it.
Is this an Ava kind of student?
That's not a bad comparison.
Okay.
Well, and in Ava's case, just because we've had so many more years with Ava, it's a little easier to digest that one. I would say that's a great one. Maybe even a Jenna comparison. Okay. Just a grounded scene work kind of scenario. And we're going to talk about Jenna here in a few minutes.
Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, relatability is important. We've talked a little bit about storytelling so many times this year. And certainly in Jesters, when you've got live wires and high school students not quite sure of their own talents and their own powers and what they can or cannot create cohesively, we see all sorts of things get thrown at the wall. Sometimes, especially to coaches who have been doing this a while and, can only take so many meme references. It's wonderful for there to be a student who connects it all to the real world, who understands that underneath it needs to be something that we can relate to as an audience, that grandma can relate to, that little brother can relate to, that dad and mom and everybody in between can relate to. You got to have the stuff that makes the scene make sense. And boy, in a team of live wires, what can be celebrated is the conductor, or the one that grounds everything for sure and keeps everybody from getting shocked out of themselves. So that's awesome that we have a student here in Kaylee who grasps that, who brings that to the table. And honestly, as coaches taking notice, thanks for helping us to connect to your team's scenes. Help to do that in the future, because it's going to help everybody become better storytellers and better adults, make you more relatable, make you more connected. That's the good stuff. Welcome. That's awesome. West Tech Tech. This is a new face to West Tech. I feel it. I'm not certain. Really? Then good. I don't memorize every face on this league. That'd be weird anyway. Tell me, West Tech's All-Star. Introduce us or remind me.
I could probably say that there is probably no all-star on here whose coach was more shocked by what you did this year than Coach Song. So Maya Madrigal being on this list is such an awesome accomplishment and feel-good story. And you've kind of changed your entire story by what you did this year. So with such a good team around you, for you to be in this position is a testament to your year. So I don't know what you even think about it. I honestly, I don't know if you're sitting here going, yep, I deserved it, or if it's just like, how did I get this because of who I'm with? I'm not sure where your perspective is, but gosh, if you don't for a moment just go, wow, I did this, because you deserve that. This is a huge accomplishment, and no one handed this to you. This was all yours, Maya. So impressive, so good. I completely praise what you accomplished this year. So good job. Absolutely.
It's an honor to know Maya more awarefully. What the heck? What is this? 2 a.m? Maya, it's wonderful to know more about you now and to have that perspective thrown at me because yes, West Tech has not only become one of the strongest teams in the league week in and week out, but they're also proving to be maybe the best batch of students of the game in the entire league because you all rose up so hard and you already have so many strong pieces around you that you being the shining star to come out as the all-star for this year is, I mean, I didn't watch every show. I don't know everybody. I haven't memorized the league on the same level of Kopy, but him telling me that story is enough to tell me that you're a fantastic phenomenon and an awesome story for this year in general. Period. End of story. Underline it, embolden it, italicize it. You're you, and you're here, and you've earned it against an incredibly strong field in your teammates. And I think that's inspiring. And because I don't know you any more intimately on a personal level or on an improvisational level, I'll stop there. I just can't wait to see what happens next for you, kid, because hopefully this does nothing but make you know that anytime you're out there to do something creative, you're in a safe place following your instincts. And that's an awesome place to be. So, congratulations and kudos. Super cool. Bonanza's back in the league. We've missed them. We lost them for Pandemic Prov, but they're back with gusto for this year. And I definitely would like to take a stab at this name because I embarrassed myself the first time I threw it out there. And I'm ready to say congratulations to Mona for being the all-star for Bonanza. I'm sorry I called you Mora. Oops, but you're cool. I love all of what I've gotten to see Bonanza do this year with how you all have quickly and fiercely found some chemistry and some energy and some tete-a-tete to how you interact with each other and tell your stories. You guys seem fluid and effortless. And you're in the middle of that, Mona. You're in the middle of that, making that possible by navigating through these live wires of your teammates without letting it get too far off course. You're smooth. You're fun. You don't get caught up in the moment. You stay in the pocket. You listen and react, and you help others too as well. So it's awesome that you're the all-star. Not when I think about it, because there are a few personalities on the Bonanza team that I know already more than yourself. No offense. And what you're doing on stage, then earning that nod above those personalities says that other coaches can recognize the structural value of what you offer. And that's important to schools like Bonanza that are clearly getting better faster than anybody expected. Thoughts on Mona?
Mona is kind of a what could have been story in my head because we got Mona as a freshman, could have been a 4-year player, but then we lost Mona those 2 years in the middle. So getting Mona back as a senior.
Welcome back. What a comeback.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bonanza for me, this was maybe the most interesting vote for me because of just kind of how out there and fun and wild this group has been. Is to see who is actually going to pull away with the vote because one person's got to get it. Like if we have to separate Allison and Audrey from our review, then we have to do it to Bonanza too. So that was kind of the vibe I was getting. So Mona, I don't think this is undeserved at all. This is all yours. You are such a powerhouse. You are capable of so many things, and you give Coach Tirza ammo. You give your team opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise because of your strong play.
Depth.
Yeah. So you deserve this. Absolutely. I'm happy you get this opportunity, especially in your senior year. So go enjoy it, live it, and good luck in the rest of the playoffs. Go get them.
Yes, an exciting matchup as you get ready to face Isaiah and that Northwest team. I again, 8:00. It has never looked so exciting entertainment wise. 8 a.m. That is. Clark. Hi, Clark. Guess what? Clark has been good this year. Very good this year. So good that they're probably 6 or 7 deep on their talent pool. But at the forefront has been a student that has been in our league for years. This is their first all-star nod. And they are admittedly to me, I had to go, wait, What and who and where did you come from? I guess 2 preceding years of improv didn't teach me a thing. Jenna, congrats on your all-star nod. This is exciting. We've been talking about you in hushed circles all year. Have you heard about Jenna? Yeah, Jenna's turned a corner. Oh, she's done more than that. She's invented what corners look like. What? That's amazing. How can you
Uh,
reinvent corners?
and
I don't know.
with her picture in the graphic, it looks like she's also whispering about herself.
Ah,
have you heard about me?
have you heard about me? Yeah. Hey Jenna, it's cool. I barely interacted with you this year, but for the moment that we did, I know you're the heart of Team Love, and I love Team Love, so that means thank you is what I owe you. As a person who wants to see that camp succeed, you've been a humongous part of why Clark is being spoken about with respect, improvisationally, and you're helping to restructure Clark's culture improvisationally as well. Um, I can't think of too many more positive things I could say with my limited perspective, but I'm being genuine when I say that I'm super glad you came around and came on as hard as you did this year to earn your all-star nod, because you've uplifted your camp, and a stronger Clark means a stronger league. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Kopy, I bet you can't wait.
Yeah, I timing is everything. And
Okay.
yeah, and Jenna's is such proof of that. And um Jenna, this is Jenna's fourth year, and I think we maybe scratched the surface in the first year or two.
Mhm.
Um, I think the writing was on the wall last year on online improv, and maybe even just slightly before that. I remember a sophomore year show where I just went, ooh. Uh, so it's been really cool to see you kind of in your senior year just put your foot down and say, hey, I can do this. I can rock this. Yeah, on such a strong team. Jarrell's got to make a choice on who to play.
Wow.
Like he's really going to have to figure out who's going to be in these shows, and you getting this all-star just gives even more evidence of your power and what you add. So um, I said this one other time I think in this video, but there's really nothing you can't do either. So
Mm.
well deserved. Congratulations. Enjoy this, and of course, good luck in the rest of your playoffs.
Heck yeah. Let's see what happens. Let Clark have some magic. I love that underlying storyline this year, and you've been a big part of why that's happening. So congrats, Jenna. It's great news for our league. So thanks for being part of it. Big part of it. Desert Oasis is here. And when you were mentioning earlier all this timing mumbo jumbo, I circled Desert Oasis as my prediction for whom you were referencing. You've since referenced both Harley and Jenna for that. So Melissa is your all-star for Desert Oasis. First timer?
Second,
Okay. So
yeah,
henceforth, why the timing doesn't feel too prolific, but I felt like I hadn't seen you atop this mountain before. Melissa, forgive me for underestimating, overestimating, any estimating. Uh, I got to see a little bit of Desert Oasis play this year, not a ton, but I do know that you've been here all 4 years, right?
third.
Third.
Yep.
Sorry, then I don't know anything. Then Melissa, I'm glad that you have helped this young team grow, and that your experience level could be something that they can feel safe around. The Desert Oasis did improve considerably throughout the season. A large part of it has to be because of you being there to make sure they all know it's okay. And any team who has somebody like you on that group can be grateful, has something to grow around, has something to build off of. And so you're the foundation. And that's a certainly strong compliment from somebody who would have loved to see more of you in general. Kopy.
Melissa, yeah, personality, all personality. That's what jumps off the page when you watch Melissa perform or just have a conversation. Um, Melissa doesn't walk through the door. Melissa finds a window to crawl through. So uh,
Get
it
out of
can't,
my house.
yeah, it can't ever be straightforward. It's got to be some new direction. And what makes that even cooler is that is also paired with just some really strong love for us and this league,
Thank you for
and
that.
pure happiness. Like Melissa's probably pretty high on the list of the students that are really happy to get this honor.
Mhm.
So I know this means a lot to her. I have a framed photograph of a stuffed animal that she made and put a J on it. That for whatever reason it turned into a picture and had to be in a frame and had to be given to me, and it's on my desk. So I
That's
just,
awesome.
yeah, there's some love here for
Yeah.
what she does, and you getting it a second time, that just puts your name in our history books. So yeah, Melissa, congrats, enjoy this, and you get to do this one in person now. So yay.
Let's go. Absolutely. We love for our league for sure. We are glad you've enjoyed your adventure. We're grateful that you've put as much effort and time into it. We hope that you'll continue to be part of the family because nobody needs to go away. We Graduation is but the beginning of a totally different type of chapter with Jesters. But know that we value you. Even if I haven't had the best FaceTime with you, no, I wouldn't hesitate for a second to see what we can't do to help you continue to love our league and how we can have that factored into your plan moving forward. Um, but it's all about you. Congrats. You've earned a second nod and you've been a huge part of Desert Oasis' ability to regain and grow new stability. And every student who does that is a blessing to our league. So you've given back too. Uh oh. Uh oh. Rift sides here. Oh dear. Josh Ocampo with the finest of hair. I remember this show. This is with Bonanza, I'm sure, because I think he changes his hair every week, one way or another. Um, Dude, Josh, yikes. I mean, you've got a lot of the same charisma, strength, and poise that I think of when I think of folks like Isaiah and Bella and Evan. And as I look around this page, so many great performers. You've got so many of their great qualities, and what's fun about you is you're like a Rubik's cube because no matter how you spin it, there's so many different ways you're attacking the funny bone. And there's so many different ways you're emoting what you're saying. And there's so many different ways you're expressing it with your body on top of that. You're one of the most confident students I've ever seen in this league. You're one of the funnest to watch because of how diligently you emote through every part of your body. I mean, purpose is your middle name. Um, and you just throw so many different things at the wall comedically that I don't think anything catches you off guard. You can justify yourself out of a paper bag um, in the middle of a landfill. It's insane. I don't know where you get it, but I'm glad you did. I guess Maya Swift and Emmy Robinson are good candidates, or of course your amazing coach in Karina, who has quietly grown so many stars in our league. Dude, what an example for us to watch. I am so glad for every moment I've watched Josh do anything. It's taught me oodles of what purpose truly means on stage. What a cool kid. Congrats on your all-star nod. Kopy.
It sounds just preposterous that this is only Josh's first All-Star.
A
It just
testament to the flippin' giants he's had to work with over the years, of
right,
course,
right.
but he could have won it if they, I don't know. He
Right.
has so much talent on that group.
At another school, maybe Josh gets it for all 4 years,
But
whatever.
maybe another school he doesn't grow up into this improviser. You know what I mean?
Right. So we could have this debate all day long, but the truth and fact is that you are a monster and a giant on stage, and I mean that in all of the best words and ways
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shine as bright as anyone in this league, and hopefully are an example to other students for how to do this
Mhm.
stuff. If anyone walks off stage going, man, I felt really good about how I did this, and then they turn around and watch you, hopefully they immediately go, oh yeah, I guess I could have done that a little better or a little more.
Oh, yeah.
You're such a measuring stick, Josh. Like, you really are. So I hope that you feel good about getting this, and you feel good about taking the stage with all these other all-stars and having this moment. So I know you got a championship under your belt, which is kind of neat too,
Yeah.
but all-star is a whole different animal. Congrats, you deserve it.
It's going to be exciting to see whom you interact with on stage for the All-Star show, kid, because you're gonna bring out new layers of them even as all-stars. And that's just honesty. There's just something that pushes people to find new creativity when they see what you're up to. It's a natural thing, kind of along the same lines of the way I was kind of talking about how Jessica reacts to everything. Same stuff. Like if you watch Josh, you will find things to interact with creatively. It's just fun.
Well, Josh and Jessica were against each other in the championship last year.
Oh, well, would
That
you
means
look at
anything.
that? Way to connect it, Mr. Sprague. Thanks,
Yeah.
Kopy, for spelling that out. Appreciate it. I can't do anything with subtlety. It's impossible. Kopy will find it. All right, then. Sierra Vista is next on the list, and I know I'm a few years removed, having been their coach, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago now. Time has flown, but a new face for me for sure. Introduce us to this year's All-Star, the Vista.
I wonder if he is completely surprised by this. This is Archer Beck.
Yes. Okay.
Archer
Nice to meet you, Archer.
has such a intelligent perspective on all ideas that are presented.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know if Archer knows that he's on stage sometimes. I feel like Archer just has this way of communicating and expressing his thoughts and ideas that are just so poignant and in a moment, to where it makes sense. It makes sense on this largely younger team that has grown and gelled over the years and earned them a
Mhm.
playoff win,
Mhm.
that a guy like this is the one that we're focused on and got the nod. You deserve it, man. I've watched what you've done all year, and you might be the one on this list that's shocked you're here. So if I'm right in that assessment, just take my endorsement, and Coach Ariel will back me up. So I'm proud of you. This has been a fun journey to watch you go through. I'm going to be very interested to see you in this show, having fun with all these wild childs.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
With the keyword of intelligence coming across, what I'd like to say is that intelligence is never as cool as you think it is. So when there is a celebration of an intelligent perspective, we are excited to see it. Um, you know, growing up, I was considered smart, and as the years have gone on, I've learned how different people are, um, from me. So it's weird. It's a weird thing for intelligence to be something linked to that here or there, at least from what I'm digesting from this story. Um, but it can be something that's super important to improv because we need to be able to connect the dots, and connecting can be extremely hard in the moment. For me especially, I'll feel so much anxiety when I think, oh man, how am I going to make this go to this? And I'm just going to say stuff and pray. If you can cool, calm, and collectively provide the connection that can only come from an intelligent mind, um, and make it look effortless, it could be a very cathartic type of performance to watch. And that's probably what resonates with the coaches around the league, is that we sense your brain, we respect it and admire it, and we thank it sometimes for making sense of some of the craziest things we'll ever see happening on stage, which is just natural gesture Saturdays, right? So it's a cool thing to know a student like you can be celebrated, Archer, and we're glad you're here. And please revel in this moment and appreciate it for yourself, and see if it doesn't teach you something about what you can bring to the table in the future. It sounds like what you do naturally has so much value, and we're noticing. So congratulations. Spring Valley. I mean, this is a camp that, quite frankly, their story this year is completely over my head. I'm sorry I haven't barely interacted with this school, and it's still somehow completely different from the school I knew last year too. Spring Valley's All-Star. Introduce us.
Yeah, this is Milan Frederick. Uh,
Yes, you've talked about Milan. Welcome, Milan. Thank
yeah.
you. Nice to see your face. This is a witty student. This is an intelligent and capable improviser. Tell me all the reasons why.
Yeah. So Milan is one of those who's never missed a practice, who goes to all the shows, brings their family to shows, is really kind of an all the chips in the center of the table type of poker player.
Mm-hmm.
And from a performing standpoint, I said this in I think our last recap. That there have been times this year where I've watched Milan perform, and Milan's the best performer on that stage. So
Yes.
Milan has this really unique ability that when Milan is backed into a corner, Milan makes all of the right decisions. And in just it
It's not
instincts,
easy to do, for the record, everybody.
yeah, when instincts take over, Milan just knows what direction to turn. And that's a great place to start when you're brand new to this, man.
Oh man, yeah.
What a fun place to be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
being able to make all those choices. So you getting this all-star nod is insanely deserved, and it makes complete sense. So um, Milan, I imagine this probably feels really good in your heart because of how much you've given it this year. So know that I know exactly what you've been doing this year, and you deserve this opportunity to be up here with all these students.
Congratulations. From the story you share, Kopy, I feel a little Maya Swifty vibes because young, capable, instinctive, correct, all those things. Correct instincts, um, they're not coachable. They're not it's just something you get or you don't. Either you're correct at the pit of your stomach or you're not. And in improv, where it seems like there shouldn't be so many rules that would label something as correct or incorrect, um, the thing that makes it important is if we can move forward based off of that instinct. And because you're capable of helping everybody kind of dislodge their scenes, progress the story, keep it moving correctly, is hey, you're batting 1,000, and it's not easy to do, and very few bat 1,000. So enjoy knowing you can do that. Learn from the instinctive choices that have been celebrated over this year, for all the different ways Kopy's shouted you out. There have been numerous ones. So go back and
Yeah.
listen to those moments and push them and find new levels for them in the future. You're going to make your team better. You're going to make your team across from you better. You're going to make everybody better. So cool stuff. Congrats, Milan. And shockingly, we've reached our 28th school
Yeah.
already. Western is up, and we've talked about the fun boys all year. I can only assume this is one of those fun boys.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Cope.
So this is Zachary Matthews.
Yeah,
Uh,
good year for Zach's, guys. Jeez.
we should, yeah, we should change this to the Zach stars. Um, so, uh,
It must be 1:30 a.m.
it must be. So Zach here, his older brother also plays on the team, Cameron.
Nice.
So it's been fun to watch that brother dynamic, as well as watch their team dynamic. Because you kind of got this bull in a China shop Moses, that can kind of run amok, and then you've got just two different but similar brothers. Zach has kind of this youthful, like, not deer in the headlights, but this glow about his ideas, and whenever they happen, there's an excitement and there's a happiness, and
Mhm.
there's kind of this overwhelming joy that comes out with the improv. So it makes complete sense why Zach got the votes and why Zach is here, because it's just enjoyable. It's
Right.
hard not to to just be happy and smile about the presentation that Zach gives you. So that whole, I mean, they've been such a fun group in general, and Zach's kind of the definition of why they've been so fun.
Hey, at the end of the day, we're doing improv comedy. We're not making up incredible, monologues and trying to help everybody win Oscars. We're just trying to make people laugh and enjoy this experience of life. And so it sounds like what we have here is the kind of student who doesn't know their own strength and their own wit, and they are still having so much fun peeling back the layers of what they can do. And that's fun for us coaches to watch, because for every new thing a student realizes they can do, or that's funny, we can watch a student getting to be a better piece to the entire league, and giving us some better moments to enjoy in the micro sense. So, hey, thank you for finding new layers to your fun. Thank you for being surprised they exist, it sounds like, and just enjoying finding out which of your toolkits, which parts of your toolkit resonate most with you. Keep exploring and keep being the puppeteer of your own creativity. You're going to find so many different layers, not just to the fun, but also to the meaning of what we're doing. And it's going to help you grow even more. And it's going to have you depth and it's going to help you find depth in places you didn't know were within you. And it's going to help the Western team find depth underneath everything else they're doing. It's going to help grow a great program in the way I predict Zach over at El Dorado will help his. So this is awesome. And it's a great way for us to end, is on a fun kid, because underneath everything we do, we're fun. What we want is fun. And we want to help people have fun when life is tough. So thanks for being here, Zachary. All you Zachs. It's great that the league has been attacked by Zachs this year. Zach was always my favorite Power Ranger. Look that one up, kids. Guys, that's it. Your all-stars have been announced. We've had such a good time. I mean, Kopy and I, we really do enjoy talking into the wee hours of the morning, celebrating your creativity, kiddos. So it's so nice to know you guys are all representing your 28 schools within Jesters. And All-Star Day is going to be fun. Be prepared to literally have your cards shuffled. Be prepared for you to play with a ton of different folks you won't get to play with again. You won't get to play with all 28 All-Stars. So be excited about the possibilities. Maybe have your little draft picks about who you'd love to work with and how you'd want to approach them. But above all, though, just be ready to have some fun, because All-Star is that truly, truly all fun show. Kopy, I think we've said it all. Anything to add about All-Stars before we say goodnight?
We'll see you guys on championship day. It's truly worth it. So invite everyone you can. It's such a joy to be a part of.
Yep, it is. And we'll see you then, kiddos. Until next time.